Got a 2.4 Chrysler with a P0128. Find out how to fix it. Hey, welcome to Nuts and Bolts with Tone. Today I have a 2015 Chrysler 200 with a P0128 thermostat rationality code. As long as you don't have some sort of computer problem or a wiring problem, this generally relates to the thermostat. And usually what happens is the thermostat is stuck open or partially stuck open or intermittently sticking open. And that will cause the engine to not warm up fast enough. So I'm gonna show you how to replace that thermostat. Let's get going.
Now, I was out on disability for 4 months, and this is my second diagnostic since I've been back. Snap-on scanner was in use, grabbed my top-down Phoenix Lite 2, was able to connect to the module, scan all the modules, found my fault in the PCM. Here's what I found.
Oh, look at that. P0128. Gonna have to take the PCM out. Take the PCM, disconnect the connectors. What you want to do is you want to blow these connectors out, blow all the dirt out with air, and then spray them with WD-40. And then these slides don't slide out very good, so you want to spray just a little bit of WD-40 down each side of this. And then you work the connector like this, and it will slowly push it. Otherwise, this will break away from the connector and it makes it really hard. You're also going to disconnect your PCM here. There's going to be a ground somewhere right here. There's your ground right there. You're going to disconnect your ground, don't forget that, and get this out of the way. Also going to go ahead and take the battery out and take the battery tray out. I'm going to push this clip in here. Push this clip in, lift this up. Now you want to slowly lift this up. So what you're going to notice is right here, these clips slide down inside. And there we go. Got that one off. Now let's see if this one will be our friend. And throw your pocket screwdriver in the coolant. That also helped. Much harder to do stuff one-handed than you'd think, while trying to hold the camera and record. All right, and you're going to notice we're clipped in over here, so we'll have to disconnect that. But let's go ahead and get this PCM out of here. Well, I just disconnected here, took the 10 out there, took the 10 out there. There's a clip, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of different connections for your batteries, all your different connections. And now we're going to go ahead and take this battery tray out, get it out of the way. We're also going to be taking this vacuum pump off. I'm going to try not to take the battery box out because the 2 bolts that go under are a pain in the butt. Anyways, I got all this out of the way. So now what we want to do is we got to take this vacuum pump off, and we're going to be disconnecting this hose right here. So you're just going to push in the tab on the other side, on this side over here, and it'll release. So you have to push this side in, and these little ears are going to be fighting it. So you have to push in the center. You can see right there how this part is over. So when you push this, see it pushes it like that. You just want to be real careful. So you push it like that and then pull it off. And now to get this vacuum pump off, there's 3 13s, one right here, one down here, and then one in the center. We're going to go ahead and take that out, put some rags here because some oil is going to come out. So it's going to come off just like that. And then these little notches here are going to line up in the back of the cam. So not much oil came out of this one. So now we can see the thermostat housing now. So next up, we got to get this hose right here. So this one here, last time I did this hose right here broke. So be very careful with this. We got to disconnect this temp sensor, and you're going to go ahead and disconnect this forward heater fitting right here. And this is going to go down, and we're going to be disconnecting it down there. We're also going to be disconnecting this hose right here. Now, one of these hoses broke last time I did it, so be very careful. And then also mark your hoses so you know where your hose clamp needs to be when you're all done. So this bracket right here, you can see this bolt here, and 2 nuts there. You're going to loosen these nuts, but don't take them out. The bracket cannot come out, but it will be able to be moved to get the thermostat housing out. So there's going to be 2 bolts over here bolting it that way. We got to undo that. Oh, there's one. I'm sorry. One is down there, right down here, and the other one is right there. So you got to get those out and then disconnect the radiator hoses. So it'll look a little bit like this once we start getting some stuff disconnected. This is incredibly difficult to get disconnected. You got to make sure that your clip is pushed in really good, and you got to pull hard. Spray a little lubricant in there. That helps. And so now, so the lower hose, this bracket right here, once you take this bolt out, you want to spin this bracket forward a little bit to allow movement. Now that we have these nuts back here loose and the other bolts out. So the lower bolt for this black bracket here goes through the thermostat housing and the other one goes into the head. So when you take this bracket here, you can wiggle it like that because it sits over. I can't get a light back there, but it sits over the ear, the top ear of the thermostat housing. So once we get this out, we can rotate this forward and slip the housing out. It's not that easy. It doesn't slip out, but essentially that's what we're going to be doing. Your coolant temp is going to be a clip. Slide the clip up, depress the tab, pull it out. Make sure that you get a housing that's got a temp sensor in there. So now we got to disconnect that connection there because this hose goes right underneath the bolt that's underneath here. And then there is a quick connect right there on that rear hose that we have to disconnect. So we have to pull that clip up and we have to push that hose backwards. Show you what it looks like. So here's what it looks like right there. So there's where the hose goes right there. And you're going to lift the clip upwards and slide the hose backwards. We have the little tiny hose that goes there, upper radiator hose that goes there. And then all the other stuff that we disconnected was just to get access. Now these 2 bolts right here are the hardest part. So this one actually disconnected pretty easy. This one broke last time. So anyways, so we got this off right here. I got this one disconnected up here. Now this hose back here, the one that this connects to right here, this hose that goes to the rear of the thermostat housing, there's a clip and it's like this. Be careful, you'll lose this. So what you got to do is you got to lift up one side, lift up the other side, grab it with pliers and pull it out. Now we can take a pry bar and just kind of pop that line off down there and then just try to get to the bolts. The bottom bolt on that back side is the hardest one to get to. And then you just pop it back in like that. It goes like this. There's the ear and there's the ear. It goes on here. We're just going to lube that O-ring when we get all done. And then this will just pop on. You have the clip on there because then you can hear it go click and then it's set. So that's the back bolt right there. I'm looking at it with a mirror from the back side and we got to try to come in there. So what you want to do is set up a mirror like what I got here. What I do is I have a mirror back here and then I try to fish the socket in looking at the mirror so I can get it on the bolt. And then you can take it out. Once we get it out, we can flip this ear forward, take this top bolt out, and it will come out.
So a little tip is if you put your hand underneath the housing like this and you stretch it as far as you could touch the bottom bolt with your pointer finger. And then what I did was I have my snap-on 1/4 inch long neck ratchet here ready to go. And I take an extension. It's about 4 or 5 inches long and a Capri Tools universal 10 milli, and I set that up and you can get it back about that angle right there. So as long as you've got your finger on the bottom bolt and you come down and you can fish it through that direction there about that angle, you can grab onto the socket once you get it in place, and then you set your extension down, you grab your long neck ratchet, and then you can set it on there and spin it out. So since we have the nuts loose and the other bolts out, we can move that bracket and we're able to rotate the thermostat housing like that, and then it slides out. That's what it looks like right there. There's the thermostat. And now we just got to take some Scotch-Brite pad and clean up the head.
And so Capri Tools are going to get it done here again. I got this mini torque wrench for Capri Tools. This is going to give you the swing arc that you need for the torque spec, which is 89 inch-pounds. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to look at thermostat housing, 10 Newton meters, 89 inch-pounds. All right. So once you rotate your thermostat housing in and get it behind the bracket, get it behind this bracket here. Okay. You're going to slide it in. You're going to get this bolt and you're going to thread it in a pretty decent amount. Okay. You can see there. Then you're going to use what I used was I got the SunX Tools, magnetic socket, just about that much of an extension. There's my fingers so you can see how long it is. And I'm able to come through and start this bolt. This is an 8 milli. This is a 10 milli. And then the one at the top that goes through this bracket is another 8 milli. You can use this to get both of those bolts started. Then we got to fish that back bolt in, and that's going to be the hard one to get in. Once you get that in, then you can run it the rest of the way in and get this torque down. All right. So what I recommend is you get your thermostat in and you get all your bolts started. Top one over there, top one here, this one down below. You run them in and get them close to snug. Then what you have to do is you have to get that bolt pushed all the way in the hole before you can put a socket on there because of this hose. There's a clamp in the way. Then once you get your bolt in there and you start to thread it and it's threaded, go ahead and tighten and torque this one, and the bottom one. Then once you get your socket on there, go ahead and run that back bottom one in and then go ahead and torque it. And that way you'll be all done. Once you torque that, these are all torqued, you're good to go. Then we put it back together. Don't forget, first thing, that hose back there, we need to lube up the O-ring that's going to go on that hose. Actually, you're going to lube up all these connections and it'll make them slide together easier. And if you haven't seen any of my videos, I always mark all my hoses and hose clamps. And that way I know that this clamp back here, I put it on exactly the way I took it off. And I know that clamp's not going to leak. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. Just mark across your hose and your clamp. So that way, because you can see this indentation in the hose, the clamp has to go back in that exact spot. If it's off a little bit, then it won't be in the right clamping place and it won't seal. So you can see right there, I have it exactly where it needs to be. So I don't have to worry about these clamps leaking. All these people that say throw these in the trash, don't throw them in the trash, reuse them. They're actually better than the worm drive clamps, as long as you do it right. Put this mark on there, it'll be right.
And now for the vacuum pump. You can see right here, it says vacuum pump to cylinder head, 17 foot-pounds. So you're going to take your vacuum pump, clean it all up, and you're going to rotate it. You're going to put those notches in the cam, rotate it till it goes in, slide it up, get your 3 bolts started, 17 foot-pounds.
Don't forget the ground right here. That'll cause you some problems. So from here, we're just going to hook everything up and make sure that you use a vacuum refiller to fill this cooling system up. And this is the best way to fill a cooling system right here. You got a vacuum refiller, sucks the thermostat open, backfills it. You know, there's no issues, and you can put the cap on and go drive it. All right, then what you want to do is clear your code. Your battery is disconnected, so it should be cleared, but I always clear it anyways. Hook up a scan tool, and all you need to look at is engine coolant temp. You're going to watch this rise fast. Turn your heater on full blast. Just turn the heater on full blast. If you vacuum filled this thing, you throw your cap on there, heater on full blast, monitor your coolant temp, let it run, stick your arm in the window. Once your heater blows hot, your temp's going to be up. You're good to go. Go drive it. After watching this video, this should be very helpful in figuring out how to do this thermostat, as it's a very tricky thermostat to do. So thanks for watching the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell. You get notified of all my future content, which you definitely don't want to miss. I'll see you guys next time.